Assalamu alaikum ji. Welcome to your e-class for business studies. So we'll begin with reviewing the rules for these e-classes, which you're already familiar with. Please keep your mic and camera switched off till last. All questions or queries during the session shall be asked through your chat window. Everyone will be given the opportunity to ask their queries or questions towards the end of the session. For any additional help or explanation required for the session, you are welcome to send email to the given email address or consult the Google Classroom. Today, we will be covering chapter 12, the marketing mix, and we'll be discussing about the product. But before we do that, we'll review and revise some of the concepts that we had already discussed about marketing and the role of marketing for a business and how marketing becomes a backbone for operations. Today's learning objectives include reviewing and revising definitions of marketing, comprehending the role of marketing in a business, determining how marketing helps businesses to respond to the changing trends and competition. How is marketing segmentation done? And what is the importance of market research for a business and how it helps the marketing operations? Understanding the four elements of the marketing mix, popularly called the 4 Ps of marketing. Role of product decisions in the marketing mix. Some of the cost and benefit of developing new products. Importance of brand image and the impact of a brand's image on its sales and customer loyalty. So we begin with reviewing the definition of marketing as discussed earlier. Marketing is the link between a society's material requirements and its economic patterns of response, as per the formal definition, which means marketing helps in satisfying the needs and wants of the targeted segment. Thus, marketing helps in relationship building, and it is this relationship which is defined or classified as customer loyalty that helps businesses in maintaining their market share, in maintaining their sales, in achieving the growth patterns. So, as we've discussed that marketing helps in satisfying the needs and wants, it is important to understand what needs are versus what wants are. I'm sure by this time you're already familiar and you must be able to recall that needs are limited in nature as compared to wants, which are unlimited in nature. Needs are the requirements, whereas wants are our wishes. Needs are the necessities, whereas wants are our desires. And you understand that as all of us keep evolving and we have different experiences, whether it is our own experience, whether we are updated about somebody else's experience, our exposure changes. And as our exposure changes, our wishes and desires also change. So this means businesses are dealing with satisfying needs and wants both, which means they have to satisfy an unlimited desire and wishes. So there will be an ever evolving demand. If the demand does not exist, then marketers, through their expertise, create those demands. And I'm sure you can look around in your own environment, in your own orbit, and you'll be able to determine that yes, sometimes the changes in the lifestyles, the changes in the living environments create demands of the products that might not exist originally or at some given point in time. For example, in the recent happening because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the demand for the face mask has increased to a new level which earlier was not there. Earlier, face masks were thought to be a product only confined for the usage of the medical attendants, whereas now it has become a product required by all of us. So you can understand that the changing environments or the changing times lead to the change of demand, and I'm sure you know already that there are many companies who are already producing different types of face masks, and some of these companies have become very contemporary and advanced, and they have designed masks with customized designs, or you can get masks with your own photographs. You could get masks with the photographs of your favorite superhero characters, or you could get colored masks. And there is a fashionable trend that's picked up, which is actually being driven by a new need, which has now become part of our wish list. So you understand that there is a need that you need to have a mask, you need to wear a face mask, and now you have a desire that you do not want to probably wear a regular, ordinary surgical face mask. You want to maybe have a designer face mask. So this tells you that marketing is all about satisfying the needs and wants of the customers, consumers on the targeted segments. So, marketing is defined as the science and art of exploring, creating, and delivering value to satisfy the needs of a target market at a profit. Um, you remember that we've been discussing this, that businesses are for making profit, that profit making is one of the basic objectives or a primary focus of a business. So, whatever marketing you're using, whatever process you're adopting to satisfy the needs and wants of a targeted segment, you want to do it at a profit. So, marketing helps in identifying unfulfilled needs and desires. It defines, measures, and quantifies the size of the identified market and the profit potential. That's how it is said that marketing forms the backbone of a business, because your business operations and the profitability of the business is dependent on how well you are marketing. Another way of defining marketing is identifying customer wants and satisfying these profitably. So remember, whatever marketing is doing, the element of profitability has to be built in as an integral part. Another way of defining marketing, as we had already discussed, is that marketing is a management process for anticipating, understanding, and satisfying customer needs and wants at a profit. Anticipating that you predict future, you predict seasonal changes, you predict seasonal demands, and you understand that as the season is going to change, or the fashion is going to change, or the requirements are going to change, there'll be certain products and services required in the market, and that there are companies and there are businesses smart enough to actually organize the resources and the processes to offer products and services to satisfy these needs and wants, and that too at a profit. Thus, marketing involves developing products that customers want to buy, understanding the needs of customers, selling products at a price affordable to customers, so that company also makes the profit. Marketing helps in deciding where to sell and how to reach the customers that you're targeting. And an important point to ponder here as we look at what all is included in marketing is that when you look at these 4 points, just think about it. Which of the above is most important and why? And then you will see that these are all interrelated and interconnected. You will not be able to specify one out of the others. For example, if you are developing a product, you have to keep in mind that that product is good enough that somebody is willing to pay the price for that product, which means somebody is ready to put a price so that you can cover your costs and you can make some profit out of it as well. So there is no product that could be considered useful or that is considered attracted for the customers and doesn't have a price. Or if it is very expensive, even then, best of the products might not leave the shelf. So you have to come up with the right mix, which means you have to come up with the right mix, the right product at the right price, at the right place, promoted in the right way. Because if you've made a wonderful product and you've not told people about it, what kind of sales do you think you could be generating? And as we have discussed earlier also, that you might not be able to identify any company, any brand that exists in the world and has no sales. We know that for staying abreast in the market, for staying ahead of the competition, you need to be able to sell. And you need to be able to sell, which means you would need to promote, create awareness of your product or service. Only then somebody will consider about it. So marketing involves important decisions for a company by a company. And all these elements that marketing works with or focuses at are interconnected, and that's how they define the marketing mix. Thus, we can define The role of marketing for a business as identifying customer needs and wants. You need to know what your targeted segment requires or is interested in consuming, buying. You need to be able to satisfy customer needs and wants. This means if you create a product that only you like as a business, or a business thinks that they are good at making a type of product which is maybe easier, or maybe they are familiar with doing it, but nobody is interested in buying it, nobody finds it useful. So what's going to happen? You will be left with all the inventory that you create of that particular product, even if you do it so very well. Nobody would be interested in buying it. So, whatever you're offering to the market, you should be satisfying some needs or wants. So, one of the important roles that marketing plays, and we've discussed it earlier, is to maintain customer loyalty so that you're able to retain, as a business, you're able to retain the market share. You're able to maintain the level of sales that your company needs to make for staying abreast and profitable. So this means marketing needs to focus on building customer relationship. That's the way to retain customer loyalty. And for doing that, any business would need to be able to respond to the changes in customer needs or expectations, which requires one to understand the market dynamics, the changing patterns and trends in the market, which in turn leads the businesses to use market research to gather the information important for making informed decision making. This all is done through marketing. This all is the responsibility of the marketing department. This all falls under the purview of marketing. Thus, importance of marketing for a business. Why do consumer spending patterns change? An important question, because if marketing needs to keep responding to the changing trends, we need to understand that why do consumer spending patterns change. And once again, the recent example of the COVID-19 pandemic, you noticed, we all have experienced in the last few months, our lifestyles have been changed. As our lifestyles have been changed, so the demand for certain products and services have also changed. If any one of you have noticed, the demand for delivery of products at our doorstep has become higher as compared to people visiting the malls or the shops. And obviously you cannot visit because there was a smart lockdown. So this means that the external environment prompts the change in patterns or the change in the demand for certain products and services. And some of these factors that impact the changes in consumers' buying preferences include the stage of the economic cycle, trends in fashion, new technology, which prompts you to actually, upgrade your tools, your gadgets. Marketing itself Companies promoting certain products in certain way prompts you to buy in a certain pattern. For example, one, when the companies or the brands offer special sales, seasonal sales, obviously you are prompted to buy because there is a value of money that derives your decision of buying things. Sometimes changes in the government policies and laws lead to changes in your demand requirements, changes in lifestyles that we just, discussed that during this smart lockdown period, we all know that our lifestyles have been impacted, our work styles have been impacted. Another feature is the pressure groups. For example, your friends telling you to buy or consume certain products or services. And obviously, we all get influenced by our social setup. So these are the reasons because of which the demand requirements change, and as the demand requirement changes, companies and businesses have to respond promptly to maintain their growth cycles. And as we've just talked about the growth cycles, thus marketing revolves around focusing at achieving growth objectives, making profit, maintaining and increasing market share, identifying new target markets or segments so that you could achieve your growth patterns, increasing consumer awareness regarding the brand, improving the product range, working on improvising the brand's image. And you might have heard or read or seen on TV, specifically in the last few weeks post COVID 19, that some of the companies have been highlighting how they are contributing to helping or assisting people in this trying times of a pandemic. Now that's leading towards improving the brand's image, becoming familiar, creating awareness about a company's performance and their concern about the social development and social well being of the society. All this, in turn, while people are doing good, in turn helps them in achieving their short term and long term goals. Thus, marketing plays a very vital role for businesses to achieve their long term vision. For doing this, and as we keep discussing, that while you are targeting a population or a set of people for a certain product and service, you need to group them in a certain way so that you could offer or reach to them more effectively. And some of the ways of segmenting your targeted population could be through the socio-economic group, through the age, through the gender, through the income, through the geographical location, through ethnicity, based on religion. I mean, this gives you an idea that people belonging to certain categories have certain set of expectations, and this helps you in understanding the consumer behavior and then accordingly planning and strategizing to satisfy the needs and wants of a particular group. So market segmentation is important for marketing so that you could reach your customers more effectively. So could be there are two basic main types of classifying your marketing. One is the niche marketing, and the other is the mass marketing. Mass marketing, as visible from the highlighted graphical representation, is one big market, and your product caters to one big market. For example, maybe beverages like Pepsi or Coke caters to a big population. But for similarly a beverage company like Nestle offering multiple flavors of juices could be targeting different segments in the whole targeted population. Somebody who likes mango can have a mango juice, or an orange juice, or a pineapple juice, or a blend of two three. So companies keep opting for and adopting different type of methods so that they can reach their targeted segments effectively. Again, further explaining that how you could follow an approach of niche marketing versus mass marketing, and then you understand how different brands, products, businesses operate, offering and highlighting their products and services. It is very important to answer this question here as we keep talking about working on different strategies for different brands and different businesses, that why are some markets more competitive? We understand that the nature of the product and services lead to this. The composition of the population leads to this. Some of the external factors is like globalization today has led to the free movement of products and services all around the globe. So some markets become more competitive, some markets become more price sensitive. Transportation improvements again leads to easy movement of products and services across the borders. So markets become more competitive. And again, owing to the recent impact on our lifestyles because of the smart lockdown situation, the e-commerce has really picked up in our areas as well, in the domestic market also. And we now understand that we want to even source the daily use products sitting at home using internet. So the competition is being reshaped, reconfigured. And such factors make some markets more competitive than. We take a pause here as we've tried to review and revise what we had studied about market and market research before we actually start talking about the today's focus of the topic, that is the marketing mix. So take a pause, try and recall for yourself how you would define marketing, and as you are able to comprehend and as you are able to define marketing for yourself, move ahead. And we move ahead to explaining what is a marketing mix. Marketing mix is a combination of four elements which are considered as the basic and which are the foundation for any business. And these four elements are product, price, place, and promotion. These four elements together make a basic foundation for any business or any product or service offered by a business. These all four elements are interconnected. These all four elements play an important role in defining a marketing strategy. The combination of these four elements determine the success probability for a company. So let's define the marketing mix. The marketing mix refers to the set of actions or tactics that a company uses to promote its brands or product in the market. The four P's include product, price, place, and promotion. What is a product? A product is an item that is built or produced to satisfy the needs of a certain group of people. Now, these products could be intangible or these could be tangible products. And these products or these offerings could be in form of goods or services. The example of tangible products around you is common, and you can identify starting from maybe, the milk brand that you use or the bottled water brand that you use to maybe the shoes that you wear or the car that you ride or maybe the internet service that you use becomes an example of an intangible product. The table, chair, any physical good that you use is an example of a tangible product. And when you actually pay a little attention, any product that you see that's, you're familiar with or you've interacted with or you're used, you can appreciate that there's a thought process behind it. And besides other different facets of a product, a basic focus and objective is interlined with satisfying your need and being of some use to you. You use the products that are beneficial to use, that have some value or usefulness to you. Even if you are consuming a certain type of food brand at a particular time, it is considered worthwhile and value for money only, then you end up spending money on it. Now let's think about example for an intangible product. An intangible product that you might be using. The example that I can think of an intangible product that you might be using could be an insurance policy. An intangible product that you might be using could be a service of home delivery. So, in market or in our daily lives, we keep interacting with and we keep using different forms of goods and services. And we are ready to pay price for them. This means we value those products. And we only value something which is of use to us. So, we understand that the importance of product in the marketing mix cannot be underestimated. Rather, it would be right to say that it is the product that forms the foundation of defining your marketing strategy, and an imperative aspect that the businesses have to account for is that a business must ensure to have the right type of product that is in demand for the targeted market. Or businesses must ensure that the product that they are going to create, if it is new for the market, there would be demand created for the product. For example, and we have discussed this example earlier as well, when Apple introduced its product line and when Apple introduced its computers, they kept in mind those needs and requirements of the customers that even the customers were not familiar with. And when they saw the product, they realized that they would want to use something of this quality or this type. And that's how the process began. Today, as we've discussed, if you check with your parents or maybe your uncles or aunts, that about 25 years ago, the concept of bottled water hardly existed. Even though when a company like Nestle was introducing the bottled water in Pakistan, many of us thought that they will not get any business because water was considered a free commodity then. Now, we all are ready to pay the price of this free commodity, and we want to get the bottled water, and for certain type of brands or certain type of imported brands, we are even to pay a higher price than the regular ongoing price for the local brands in the market. And this is one of the common examples, and the same formula you can apply on many products, and you could see that the brands and the businesses work around the perception of the people, and they want to build onto the concept of convenience, and that's how they're able to meet their business objectives. That's how they're able to become profitable. So product development is a science as well as an art, and the product development is done on the basis of understanding the wants and needs of the targeted segments, which means market research plays a very imperative and integral role during the process of product development, which actually further classifies the importance of information management within a company. And I'm sure you should be able to recall, as we were discussing the importance of market research sometimes earlier, as we were discussing the importance of market research for a business. Now you could probably relate and implement it because you need all this information for designing and developing a product. A simple example of product development for, let's say, introducing a new flavor of juice for Nestle. I'm sure you'll be able to understand and relate that we'll have to go through many phases, because one has to understand and know that what kind of composition of a fruit juice will a certain type of group of people would like. And achieving that is not a simple process. Not only that, it could be time consuming, but remember, whenever a company is spending time on doing something, creating something, they're investing their money as well. And money is one of the important resources. And the flavors that we all enjoy are not just come up with, somebody thought of doing it It's the composition, it's the recipe that even has gone through the phases of being tested and implemented and then produced at a mass scale and packaged in a certain way that it becomes a final product that you or me are attracted to buy from the shelf. Let's think and pay attention to some of the brands that we are familiar with, and let's try and appreciate how these brands have become integral part of our lives, how these brands have influenced our decision making of spending our money and achieving some sort of satisfaction. These are some of the brands that you might be familiar with, you might have experienced, you might have heard, or these are some of your favorite brands, some of your favorite products. So you could now think about it, that how a product that is offered to you might have been developed and passed through different phases before it has reached you, before it has reached your hands, before you started liking it. What are the different factors that influence your liking for a particular brand? I'm sure you can now recall, some of you and some of us have our favorites in all product categories and all services. For different type of services, you sometimes want to go to a certain specific place. uh, these days all of us have been experiencing different delivery services, and we've had some very interesting experiences specifically related to food delivery. So I'm sure you should be able to now understand and recall that how different brands that you like have been offering a combination of product features that have made them your favorite, that has taken our mind share. So, the assignment that you need to focus at is to make a list of at least 30 brands. It could be products, it could be services that you use on a regular basis. All you have to do is list down the brands. And while you list them down, just classify them, that if they are local, domestic brands, domestic businesses, or if they are international brands offered by some multinational company. And check your Google Classroom for more details on this assignment. And remember, doing assignments on time is important and will help you secure better. So now we move on to the second element of the marketing mix, that is the price. Obviously, on the common sense basis, you can determine that price is the value that you're ready to pay for a product or service. And remember, out of the four elements which are interrelated for defining the marketing mix, price is the only revenue generating element. Rest of the three elements are actually the cost centers. That is, they are the expenses, or they are the costs that you have to incur to be able to generate revenue that makes you successful in the business, that makes you sustain the business, that makes your business profitable. So pricing is strongly linked to the business model. You can understand the pricing is not very simple, and it requires a lot of working. But all the prices that you see or you've paid for your favorite products, for your favorite brands, for a service that you have experienced, has two components. All the prices has two components. One, the cost factor, and the second is the profit margin. So the retail price or the trade price that you have to pay for getting a product includes the cost of the raw material or the processing being done for making or manufacturing that product, plus it has a small component of the profitability margin built in, and that's how a price is determined. There are different pricing strategy which we'll be discussing and studying as we study all these four components of the market mix in detail. For now, you have to keep in mind that as all the four elements are interrelated and interconnected, price is a critical element of the marketing mix. Price is sum of all the values that a customer gives up to gain the benefits of having or using a product or service. So price becomes the value that you are willing to pay for satisfying a certain need or a want. And you understand the customers exchange the product for their money because they find it worth the value. So the value addition that the businesses do in formulating and manufacturing a product determines the price that you can ask for that product. Thus, you can understand, for example, a basic burger with a chicken patty and a bun, you pay an X amount at a fine dining restaurant, which could be, around 1500 rupees or something like that. Whereas maybe at a basic burger corner or a basic bun kebab area, you probably end up paying around 100, rupees for that. Whereas when you go to McDonald's, you're ready to pay for a similar kind of product, 600, 700 rupees. And the difference that's created at all these three different places, maybe the difference in the cost of the raw material is not as much as compared to the difference in the brand positioning and the brand image for which you're ready to pay the price. For example, for a pair of joggers or running shoes that you want to buy from a local shoe manufacturer, and Nike will have a big difference of price. I'm not contesting on it that the quality might not be different. But when you really look at the raw material, the difference might not be such. Yes, the difference in the process of assembling it and putting together is there. But the difference in the brand's image that prompts you to actually pay a certain price for a brand is how the companies build onto it, is the kind of value, is the kind of benefit you're drawing from buying their product. And then you're ready to pay the price, even if to some it might sound expensive. So you understand that with the product, It is the right price that makes the product sell and go ahead, move, achieve the growth and sales targets. So pricing is sensitive and critical in the marketing mix combination of 4Ps. After price, we move on to the place. And as this graphical representation highlights, the place means you have to manufactured product from point A to point B, which is the retail place from where the consumer is actually going to buy the product. There could be certain intermediaries, there could be certain processes, and there could be certain channels. So distribution of the product plays an imperative role in determining the success for achieving sales. So the third component of the marketing mix is place, and it is the process of moving products from the producer to the intended user, that is the customer. So it is how your product is bought and where it is bought that matters. This movement could be through a combination of intermediaries such as distributors, wholesalers, and retailers. I'm sure you can comprehend and understand it well that it is the combination of these three elements that makes it important. That is the right product, the right price, the right place. You would probably not want to buy a burger which is called a McDonald's burger from a corner shop in your neighborhood. You'll be able to identify when you go to a particular supermarket or when you go to a particular departmental store, you understand the kind of products that you get there. And that's the importance of place. You would not expect to buy a Nike shoe from a small shop on the roadside. And if somebody is selling Nike shoes on the roadside, you might have certain concerns and considerations built up. So, but if you go to a Nike store, you will not have any concerns and considerations about the quality of the product. So, place plays an imperative role. Then comes in the promotion. Promotion is the part of marketing where you advertise and market your product. Like mentioned earlier, if you've got an ace product and nobody knows about it, what good could it be? So promotion again could have different objectives and strategies built on. Promotion could be about creating awareness of the product. Promotion could be about prompting the sales of the product, and there are different types of promotions that we all come across, and the one highlighted as an example here is that of McDonald's. And you see that in this promotion, they've highlighted the original price and they have highlighted the special price. And, this prompts your buying decision. So, in order to convince your targeted customers to buy your product, you need to explain what it is, how to use it, and why they should buy, and what is the benefit associated. So, promotion is advertising your brand, your business, advertising the features of your product that you're offering or the services that you're offering, so people are able to determine and make a decision of buying your product or service. The second assignment here for you is to make a list of 7 promotional offers that you have noted in the last 4 weeks. Either you've heard of them, or you've read of them, or you've experienced them, or somebody had told you. You just have to make a list of those promotions, nothing beyond it. And again, the details of this assignment is also given in your Google Classroom. With this, we come to an end of today's session. We've briefly discussed about the 4 elements of the marketing mix. We'll be studying each of them in detail in the coming sessions. For now, you are requested to read through chapter 10, 11 as part of the review and revision of the marketing concepts, and then chapter 12 as part of your reading assignment, as we'll be discussing it in depth in the coming week. So we conclude today's session. Good luck with your reading and good luck with your assignments, and try and be on time. Thank you.